You've followed the trail, you've seen the salary bribe, you've dodged the debt trap, and you've felt the sting of the silent theft. But now we arrive at the most important question of your life. When do you stop fighting and start living? Most people spend their entire lives waiting for a permission slip to be free. They wait for a certain age, a certain government benefit, or a certain number in a retirement account that inflation is already eating. But the 1% don't wait for permission. They engineer an exit. I'm George Stelling, and today we are looking through the prosperity prism for the last time in this series to find the most sacred point in a human life, the crossover. The crossover is the exact second your assets produce more income than your lifestyle costs. At that moment, you are no longer a subject of the system. You are a sovereign individual. The vault is open, and today I'm giving you the final blueprint to walk out of the ghost class and never look back. This isn't just about money. It's about the total reclamation of your time and your soul. Let's cross the line. It doesn't mean moving to a cabin in the woods and eating bark. It means that your survival is no longer dependent on any single institution, boss, or government. If the company goes bust, you don't care. If the government changes the rules, you've already moved your pieces. True sovereignty is built on three pillars: asset independence, geographic flexibility, and mental autonomy. Most of you are single-point failures. If your job disappears tomorrow, your life collapses in 30 days. That is not a life, that is a hostage situation. To exit, you must build a moat around your life. In the prosperity prism, we don't work for savings. We work for cash flow. Savings is a pile of wood that eventually burns out. Cash flow is a forest that grows faster than you can burn it. Your exit begins the moment you stop buying stuff and start buying income streams. Let's get cold and calculated. How much do you actually need to cross over? The ghost class uses the 4% rule, the idea that you need millions of dollars so you can peel off a tiny bit every year. That is a prey strategy based on the fear of running out. The 1% use the yield strategy. If your life costs $5,000 a month, you don't need $2 million in a bank. You need $600,000 in assets yielding a 10% cash-on-cash return. Suddenly, the mountain doesn't look so high, does it? When you focus on yield instead of net worth, the exit becomes reachable in years, not decades. Every asset you buy, be it a rental property, a dividend stock, or a private business, is a brick in the wall of your prison cell. Once that wall is high enough, you simply step over it. Calculate your freedom number tonight. Not your rich number, your freedom number. How much does it cost to keep the lights on and the food on the table without you lifting a finger? That is your target. That is your war. Exiting is not an event. It is a process. I call it the 5-year extraction. Year 1, radical simplification. You cut the luxury liabilities and focus every spare dollar on your first productive asset. You stop being a consumer. Year 2, skill multiplication. You acquire a high-value skill that isn't tied to your time, allowing you to flood your asset base with capital. Year 3, the first pillar. Your first asset starts producing enough to cover your smallest bill, maybe your phone or your internet. You feel the first spark of sovereignty. Year 4, the snowball. You use the income from the assets to buy more assets. This is the engine of the 1%. Year 5, the crossover. The income exceeds the expenses. During these 5 years, the system will try to pull you back. It will offer you a promotion, a bigger bribe. It will offer you credit, a bigger chain. You must stay focused on the exit. The 1% are just the people who refuse to be distracted for 5 years. Once you have achieved asset independence, the next step is geographic arbitrage. The system wants you to stay in a high-tax, high-cost city because that's where you are most productive for them. But once your income comes from assets, you can live anywhere. If you earn $5,000 a month in New York, you are struggling. If you earn $5,000 a month in a beautiful low-cost coastal town or a developing economy, you are royalty. You have essentially doubled your wealth without earning a single extra dollar. This is the cheat code of the 21st century. The 1% don't live where they work, they live where they are treated best. They use the prosperity prism to find the gaps in the world's economy. Don't be a tree. You have legs. Move to where the sun shines on your capital. To stay out of the system, your assets must be anti-fragile. You cannot rely on one stock or one property. You must build a perpetual income machine, a diversified portfolio that thrives in inflation, deflation, and chaos. Real assets, land, buildings, energy, things that people will always need. Intellectual assets, digital products, brands, royalties, things that cost zero to maintain but pay forever. Equity assets, ownership in other people's labor. When one sector fails, another rises. This is how you sleep while the world burns. The ghost class panics at the news. The ownership class just checks their dashboard. Your exit is only as permanent as your diversification. Here's the truth no one tells you. The hardest part of the exit isn't the money. It's the identity crisis. You have been defined by your job for 20, 30, 40 years. When you stop being a manager or an engineer, who are you? Many people exit only to run back to the system because they are bored or lonely. They don't know how to handle the silence of freedom. To stay exited, you must have a mission. Sovereignty is not about doing nothing. It is about doing whatever you want. Whether it's building a charity, teaching the next generation, or mastering a craft, you need a North Star that isn't a paycheck. Freedom without purpose is just a different kind of prison. Prepare your mind for the great silence. What will you do when you no longer have to do anything? Once you are out, the system will view you as a leaking bucket. It will try to get its hands back on your capital through new taxes, regulations, and inflation. This is why you must remain a perpetual student of the prosperity prism. You must stay mobile, stay informed, and stay liquid. The elite use foundations, trusts, and international structures to keep their vault closed to the harvesters. Your job changes from builder to protector. You are the general of your own private army of dollars. If you stop paying attention, the silent thieves will find a way in. There is one final stage of the exit: bringing others with you. A sovereign individual in a world of ghosts is a target, but a community of sovereign individuals is a power block. Once you have secured your own family and your own future, your mission is to share the light. Teach your children, help your friends, build a network of owners. The more people who exit, the weaker the system of shadows becomes. The 1% aren't just rich, they are influential because they control the resources that others need. Use your freedom to build a better world, not just a bigger bank account. This is how you turn a successful life into a significant life. I'm George Stelling. For 10 videos, we have walked through the shadows and into the light. You now have everything you need. You have the logic to see the lies. You have the math to build the ladder. And you have the mindset to pull the trigger. The gate is open. The crossover is waiting for you. The only thing standing between you and a life of total sovereignty is the fear of walking through that gate alone. Don't be afraid. The 1% are already here, and we are waiting for you. This is the end of the series, but it is the beginning of your life. Take the prism. See the truth. Claim the vault. I'll see you at the crossover.